Welcome to 7th grade science with Mrs. Stasny. I'm happy you're here. If at any time throughout the year you have any questions, you can always go back to tinyurl.com/science with Stasny, and it will take you to this site and you can revisit any of this information. First thing, a little bit about myself. This is my 5th year at RMA. I'm excited to be here. I was here from the very beginning. This is my 20th year teaching science in general. I taught for several years at SUG, and then I was in New York and Miami. And then before RMA, I taught at Lee Middle School for 12 years. I am married to Captain Danny Stasny. He's an inshore fishing captain. And we have a daughter, Izzy, who is a 6th grader here at Rowlett Middle Academy. We also have quite a few animals. And in my spare time, I like to go to the beach, spend time with my family, exploring nature, going fishing, learning about technology. If you ever need to contact me, my email is stasneyr@rowlettmiddleacademy.org. My school phone number is listed, and also my Google Voice. Google Voice number you can call or text. I'm excited to implement the modern classroom project in science this year, and in conjunction with a grid, which is a hyperlinked document outlining our unit. I think that we are going to be very successful this year in 7th grade science. What is a modern classroom? So a modern classroom is a research-based instructional model that will serve students at all levels of understanding, both inside and outside of the classroom. Students will access content through teacher-created videos. So I will not be standing up in the front of class in a traditional lecture style. Students will be accessing teaching through videos that I create. Students will control the pace of their learning within a unit of instruction. Now, there will be final end dates for the unit when all work will be due, but the modern classroom really allows for students to work at their own pace. And if they have a question, since they've watched the teacher-created videos, either at home or in class, I will be able to help them in small groups or one-on-one when we're in class, because I won't be tied up giving lecture-style instruction. So students will progress from one lesson to the next within a unit until they have demonstrated mastery. There are assignments, and they'll be broken down into must do, should do, and aspire to do. And I will explain more about that in a teacher-created video a little bit later, once I really have some student input once we get back into school. So stay tuned. Students will not be penalized for not completing either the should do or aspire to do. But these assignments, we will encourage students to complete them because they will help students understand the material more in depth. In conjunction of using these teacher-created videos, I will be using the grid method in class, and I'm going to talk about that next. Hi, I'm Mrs. Stasny, and I'm here to talk to you about the grid method. What is the grid method? The grid method is also known as a mastery learning system. It is student-centered, self-paced, competency-based, and works for any classroom or content. The grid method utilizes teacher-created learning targets that are structured in mastery grids. And these grids, coupled with easy-to-implement routines, are designed to maximize your achievement. So does this mean you have to teach yourself? No, self-paced learning does not mean self-teaching. In fact, you should be getting more one-on-one time with me than traditional models. How does this look different? Well, the grid method classroom may look different from what you're used to. You may be used to a teacher in front of the classroom instructing, and in the grid method, you're going to have much more facilitation of learning as you work through the information and content. This means that you will not only have more control of your learning, but you will be an active participant in the process instead of just listening to me or getting lost and being stuck behind. You will be able to work at your own pace, get the help you need when you need it. You will also have more individual responsibility and accountability for what you know and for what you're still learning. Why does this happening? Why is this working? Why is Miss Stasny using this in her class? The shift in education towards mastery and standard-based learning is based on research, best practices, and what actually works in education. So as we get farther into the 21st century and we have increased use of technology and resources, I can now individualize, personalize, and improve your education using systems like the grid method. And it's changing because it has been shown that is best for learners. And there are drastic increases in student achievement that have been shown using this model. You can be supported at home by talking about how far you're working on your grid, and also by communicating directly with me so I can help improve your performance in science class. The curriculum, including all the handouts, the rubrics, and pre-recorded lessons, they'll be loaded into Google Classroom and available anywhere you have internet. This means you can continue learning, working, and studying at home. The grading in the grid method is based on your knowledge, not just the completion of things like homework or assignments. It means that just because you complete an assignment doesn't mean that you've mastered it. The grades you are receiving are based on what you know or don't know in alignment with the state standards or targets created by me. This also allows you multiple attempts to show mastery on a given standard or target. You, like all learners, will learn, progress, and understand content at your own pace in your own way. There are still due dates, though, so make sure that you pay attention to when work is due. Because you're working at your own pace, this will allow me to identify your needs, provide help, and address any issues when they are happening. And this increases the one-on-one time that you will get with me. So, what will I teach? Well, depending on your experiences with school, you may think that teaching means that there is a person in the front of the room lecturing the entire class. Well, this has been shown to not only work, it also makes learning a passive process. The mastery learning and the grid method provides an environment where you are given learning opportunities and I help facilitate these experiences. And this fosters growth, engagement, and understanding. This means that more teaching is occurring for each student, not less. And this also increases student ownership and accountability for your own learning, which can increase motivation. Grids are set up so that you complete work from the bottom up, and this help shows that you are building on your learning. Now that you know how we're going to learn, you may want to know what we're going to learn. So the curriculum in 7th grade science is life science. And I have a degree in marine biology, so I have always loved life science. We're going to be learning about the nature of science and the scientific method, organization of organisms, cell theory and cell structure, photosynthesis and cellular respiration. We'll talk about human body systems, how organisms have changed over time, how organisms live in different areas and the relationships among those organisms, heredity and genetics, and classification of organisms. In addition, students will be completing an Owl's Opus project. Owl's Opus is an invention project. Students will be required to come up with a unique invention. They will follow the engineering design process. They will keep track of their learning throughout the project, and they will be required to create a prototype. More information on this later, but please keep an eye open for paperwork coming home about Owl's Opus because most of this project will be completed at home. Grading policies. So since we are implementing the modern classroom and the grid method, students will really need to use those 7 habits. Begin with the end in mind and be proactive because there is an end date for each unit. However, how long it takes the students to complete the work is really going to be up to them. We do have 3 categories for grades. ISS is worth 50% of their grade, I can 40%, and I participate or I practice is 10%. Now here's the thing, a lot of work will be completed in class, but if a student needs to work at home, they should not have to work more than 30 minutes on their science on a regular basis. If it is taking longer, please let's talk about the importance of beginning with the end in mind and getting right to work in class to maximize class time set aside to complete assignments. During a unit of study, classwork will have due dates. If an assignment's not turned in on time, students will receive a letter S in the gradebook in focus. This is called a soft 0. These assignments can still be turned in with a penalty during the unit of study. If an assignment is not turned in during the unit of study, then that grade will turn into a Z, which means missing, and those assignments will not be accepted as they were due before the unit assessment. The difference between advanced science and grade level science. Students have been placed in advanced science classes based on either test scores, grades, or teacher recommendation. Advanced science classes will cover material at a quicker pace and in greater detail. Students who do not maintain a 70% average in advanced science on the report card may be removed from class. The accelerated nature of advanced classes require disciplined classroom environment where students are expected to maintain appropriate behavior while demonstrating respect, responsibility, kindness, perseverance, and of course, the 7 habits. Advanced science students will be coming home with an advanced science agreement. Again, go to tinyurl.com/science with Stasny to look at this app that will, again, show you the information presented in the video. And at any time you have any questions, feel free to contact me. And again, I hope we have a great year in 7th grade life science.